for the most part, we got along real well.
Yeah, different seasons through life.
Yeah.
We definitely get along better now than we did when we were 14 and 10.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
And when we truly kind of became friends when we were like 14, 18, that kind of age. He's 4 years older than me, so when I was around 14, we became old enough to where we could be friends, and I just wasn't the one that wanted to tag along with him wherever he went.
About then.
Around the same time.
Yeah, when we started playing music together, we had already been writing apart on our own
Badly.
with other people.
We've been writing badly.
Terribly.
Apart and together.
Yeah. And then when we got together, it was even worse there.
Yeah, okay, gosh almighty. But yeah, we started making music together around the same time we were able to become kind of friends, equals. Yeah, cronies.
Not if you want to stay in Concord, it's not. We've realized over the years that if we wanted to go after that and explore that, I think every year, every month, every week that went by, we sunk or drifted further into goodbye mode and learned how to say goodbye much easier to home. And we realized that was the necessary evil to being a professional artist, entertainer, musician, whatever you want to say, and living in Concord or in North Carolina in general. It's got its limitations. You got to go to New York or Nashville or Los Angeles to get a lot of the recording work done. We realized you got to just go all over the country. It's not even just the big cities. It's everywhere if you really want to spread it the way we have.
Concord, I guess it'd be pretty safe to say it's a fairly blue-collar town, so us being from there, that's very much the approach we have towards I guess, the entertainment business.
To a fault at times. To a fault. To where all of us have the attitude of we want to roll our sleeves up and get our hands in
grind
things.
It out.
And sometimes that's not even the answer. It's like, which is very relevant. You need to move out of the way and let some people do their job that do it better than you. And that's something that we've had to learn coming from that. Our father was a welder. We grew up under a very blue-collar household, very blue-collar roof, and we learned how to work hard and dig in. And sometimes you need to let other people dig in that do it a little better. But there's many facets to that. A lot of different answers there.
We've never answered it the same way.
Sometimes we just say country music.
Sometimes we just say rock and roll. Yeah.
Sometimes we say folk.
Sometimes we go on a very long rant about the instruments that we play and
the
things
guy in
we
the
talk
grocery
about.
store's like, I really don't even know who you are. I don't even know why you're going into all this. I don't really care.
Yeah, and then I realized he didn't even say, he wasn't even asking about the band. He was asking if we wanted paper or plastic, and I'm like, well, let me tell you about the Avett brothers. All right, we're country music, rock and roll. I don't know. We never answer it the same way twice because we, if others have trouble, like categorizing it, us being on the inside of it, it's even more difficult. I guess you could call it a rumor that he had been exposed to the music, or that he was a fan, had been kind of thrown out there here and there, and so I get, in this business, as you're kind of coming up, you hear that a lot, and normally it's nonsense. So-and-so's a fan, hey, so-and-so's coming to the show, that kind of thing. A lot of people talk, but normally comes to nothing.
After you put a lot of stock into that a couple times and you realize they don't show up, you start saying,
that's not true.
I don't need to pay attention to this anymore, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
But when we heard Rick Rubin was interested, potentially, if that was serious, we were very honored, very flattered, and very excited. Yeah,
and it was a nice approach with him. It wasn't like, it was just like he invited us to his house, so it was just like, come to my house and let's talk about music.
Yeah,
that was it.
He's like, let's have some soup.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't like,
it was awesome.
This is your audition to become a rock star. Like all that is just so laughable. But but he just wanted us to come to his house and we would talk about what we were doing and what we planned on doing. And so that it was a real comfortable atmosphere, but very exciting for sure.
It started simply as stepping back and realizing how difficult it is to tell someone that you love them comfortably and give them the warmth that you really want to. And that's a real problem for us. I mean, I can speak personally, that's really hard to do sometimes with people that you have that feeling for. And the lyric was written in that regard within the song, within the verse, about how difficult it had become to tell someone that you do in fact love how you feel. It was as simple as that. Is there any other kind of romantic, you know? You know what I mean? Like, it starts to feel that way sometimes. Because as soon as we do get hopeful, something happens
To challenge
for all of us, these challenges. And we definitely overthink it. But I guess that's what we've been given the time to do.
Hopeless romanticism is a pretty key element for any artist. It's just part of having that draw, part of having that drive to make art, I think.
And our sentimental stance has sort of been a priority, or our sentimental posture, I guess you could say, our sentimental state that we tend to float in with our lyrics. And this is all in hindsight. I don't really think that any of us think about that when we're writing a lyric. It's just kind of naturally what comes out. Is a lot of times put as a priority above how well we're playing the guitar or our instruments, because we believe those lyrics will carry the rest of the organization or the performance. Will carry them on through. And a lot of the songs on this record, I think Rick was interested in that. 10,000 words. There's no doors being broken down with the dynamics of the playing on the song. You know, that's obvious. But the lyrics, it's a vehicle for a poem, more or less.